Okay, for you students that are using the AutoCAD web app, you're not going to have the luxury of using the design center to bring in the symbols, because now your floor plan should only be walls. That's what I have asked you to do, is just draw the walls and leave the openings for windows and doors. As you can see, this window opening here is a 4050, a 3068 door. So at this point, when you draw them and you check your design, everything should check as far as 4-foot openings, like this one here, for example, and then this one here is a 3-foot opening, um, 3-foot opening for the door. So everything should be drawn as such according to our floor plan to make sure it's correct. Okay. So as far as the symbols you do not have a design center, but what I did is I put them on the class share, and I made a folder called Design Center Blocks. So we need to download. There's 3 files that you need to download. So here, when you go to the blocks command, you're going to go over here and you're going to browse for blocks. You're going to insert that block, and really, if you just type in I for insert, it takes you to this anyways. So you're going to go over here and browse for blocks, and you're going to upload. You're going to go upload, and you're going to go look for that house designer. So in my case, I have my file stream connected, so I just go to my file stream, share drives, class share, and like I said, under the design center blocks is where I have the 3 blocks that you need to insert. Now, if you don't have the file stream, you're going to have to download them off the Google Drive, and then you're going to find yours particularly under the downloads folder. Okay, but nonetheless, these are the 3 you're going to be using. So I'm going to start by inserting, and I'm going to select house designer and hit open. Okay, and there it is, and insert. Okay, so notice it's bringing in the block. So I'm going to bring it in and place it, and it looks like it has all these other individual blocks. So this is the first time I'm using the web app for inserting blocks. So I'm wondering if we can just simply grab them from here. So that's kind of neat. That'll be kind of neat, because from here I can just simply drag and drop what I need. So you have a door, looks like a left hung and a right hung. So this is kind of neat. It's doing it a little bit differently than what I anticipated. So I'm just hopefully be able to just from this menu, just drag and drop the door, and there you go. That's really, really neat. Okay, so it brings in the door. I'm just going to grip it and move it to the place where it should be at. Okay, now a couple of things is layers. Don't forget, this has been defined correctly. So we have our walls layer, but we do need to put in the layers that we need. So we need to now add some other additional layers. For example, doors. Doors is another layer to create continuous red. So I'm going to go in here and make another door layer. I'm going to call this one doors. I'll leave it as layer 1. And then doors is going to be color red. Okay. So then what's going to happen is this door, I need to change it to be under my doors layer. Okay. So we need to put everything on the correct layer. Now this other door over here, if I look at I'm going to move my layers out of the way. It's a 3.0, and it also swings to the right. So I can probably just use this one here also. I'm just going to go and copy that door from this point over to this point right there. I will then rotate the door and rotate it to the right angle. And since it's a 3.0, it works. Okay. Let's look at the closet door. And you'll have to adjust some of these other doors, because the thing is that if we go to blocks, since we now have these blocks in here, the doors that we have are only 36 inches. There are no other doors. Those are the only ones that we have. So we need to work with those. So this one is a left swinging door. So I can go over here to the left and press and hold and drag it into place. So there's my door that's left. So a couple of things that need to happen. I need to rotate it. I need to move it and rotate it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the door and move it to the right endpoint right there. And I'm going to rotate the door to the right angle. Okay. This is a 3.0 door. It's 36 inches wide. This is a 2.268 door, so it's the wrong size. Okay. So with that being said, I need to adjust this door. Now, I will tell you, these symbols are not perfect. These are coming directly from AutoCAD. So notice they're not exact, and it's just a symbol. It's just a symbol for a door. It's not rocket science. It's not as precise as our mechanical drafting. So these, if they're off a little bit here and there, as long as they generally look okay, that's actually just fine. You want to try to be as exact as possible. But even these symbols that were created by AutoCAD are not exact. So, just keep that in mind. Okay. The other thing too is you notice that it's like a big the symbols all grouped as one. That's called a block. Whenever you insert a block, it brings it in as a block. Okay. The thing though is that we need to adjust this block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explode using the X command to explode. I'm going to explode the block so that it becomes individual lines. Okay. We still need to go in there and change the block, all the information to be the right layer. Okay. And I'm going to go here to properties and change everything to be to the right layer. It should be under the doors. And then match everything. Okay. And then, like I mentioned, the symbols aren't exact. So I'm going to make this symbol shorter. I don't want to scale it because then I'm going to make the door thinner. So I'm just going to redraw myself a circle right in here like that. And then match properties. Match the properties of the circle to this one. Okay. Let's see. Do I want to trim? I guess I can trim the door because I want to leave the door, but the problem is I can't really trim the whole circle because it's going to trim it all the way to that edge, but I want to leave a little bit extended here. So let me show you another command that I like to use. It's called the break command, BR for break. So break will break an object from where I select it to a point. So then what I can do is I can actually break it from here up to a particular point. So I could just come back over here and be careful because right now it looks like it's going to snap all the way to that end point. So if I do that, it's going to disappear and you're going to be thinking that something went wrong. So that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to go and break, but I want to make sure it doesn't snap to anything. So I'm going to turn off my object snaps F3. So that way I can just basically pick a point here and break it up to that point. I can erase this one and erase this one. Okay. I need to make the door shorter. So what I can do here is I can grip the door and then just grip this point here and simply move it back to the intersection. Now, I turned off my object snaps on the last step, so I'm going to turn them back on, F3, to make sure that I'm snapping to intersections. That could work. That could work. But if you're watching this video, I'm going to show you some other tricks. Let's see if the stretch command works in the web app. S for stretch. Stretch, what you'll have to do is you have to pick it with a crossing window. So when you type in S for stretch, you're going to pick a point here and another point over here. So that'll be our crossing window, enter, and then I pick a point here. I'm going to turn on my object snaps again from this point and then snap it back to this point right there. Okay. And that is our door symbol. It's not a block anymore. It's a polyline and an arc, but that's okay. It doesn't have to stay as a block as long as the symbol is drawn correctly. Okay. You're going to do the same format for windows, the tubs, and all those. I'm not going to explain those. I'm going to let you figure those out. I will tell you though that we do need to make another layer for windows. We also need to make another layer for plumbing fixtures, okay, and then doors. So all of those things we need to make sure we put them in the right layer. What are plumbing fixtures? Your sink and tubs. Casework, we need to start drawing that in. What is casework? Cabinets. Anything having to do with cabinets is under the casework layer. What is an appliance? If we look at our floor plan, what's considered an appliance? Well, that would be your range oven. That would be your range oven, dishwasher, refrigerator. Those are considered appliances. So make sure you put those on the right layer. And those are also going to be found in those other blocks. So as far as the other blocks, you're going to have to bring in not only the home designer, but you're going to have to go in there and browse for blocks and upload the kitchens will be where you're going to find ovens and all that stuff. Hit open. Let me go ahead and do that for you. Insert. Okay. And those are our kitchens. Okay. Now, the other thing, too, that I wanted to point out is as far as these blocks, we had the doors and everything, but notice we have a water closet. We have the water closets, but the water closets are 3 different views, and they're named differently. Let me look for them over here. They're named differently. And I wanted to bring out that as far as the water closets, for example, you do have different views. Let me see if I can find the right ones. And I wanted to make a reference to the types of views that we have. There we go. So you notice we have the toilet as a front view, the toilet as a side view, and the toilet as a top view. So here's a reference to what you're learning now in orthographic projection with drafting 1309 as far as the front, top, and right side views. So it's the same type of vocabulary that we use even in architecture. What are you going to be using for your floor plan? We are looking at it from the top. So the one you're going to be using for your plumbing fixture would then essentially be the top view of the toilet. So you're going to go and put that in here, and you can start putting in your symbols. Okay. Now another thing to remember is you can use this, so you can start putting in some other things. You can put in the home designer, and that one has couches and some other things. Those are true to size. So whenever you insert them, you can't scale them. That is the actual size of toilets. That's the actual size of tables. So you can't scale them. I suggest you do that just for fun, because you'll see these are not correct. This house is not a big size house. Okay. Let me just show you another example of like the stove. One thing that students do that in the past, and it's just wrong, as far as like the range oven. It's we need to look at the right views and bring in the right views. So let me go over here, look for the range oven. So this is the range oven from the front and range oven from the top. So whenever you get ready to put in your range oven, you drag in the one that's correct, and there it is. But I've seen this. I've seen this where the refrigerator goes in here and they go and drag this thing and leave it there. Okay, there's a refrigerator, mister. Well, that's not the right view. The view that we need for the refrigerator would be the refrigerator from the top, okay, which would be this view. Okay, the refrigerator from the top. And I've seen students do that, where they put this one and they say, okay, that's correct. Well, if you look at it, it's actually like if the refrigerator tipped over and it fell on its back. And I've seen these floor plans before, and honestly, they're kind of funny. Please don't do that to me.